Hello, welcome back to another episode of Kayla's Home and Health Crusade. This is a part two. This is going to be an extension with like a little bit more details of what has happened to me, and it's going to be the health edition, not the cleaning questions. So, if you have not checked out part one, you're wanting to know what is going on with this channel, you should probably go check that one out. It is the very video before this one. So get on Kayla's Home and Health Crusade, look that one up. It should have a very the same thumbnail, only not part two. So for for those of you that have seen part one and you're on to this one, welcome back. I'm so happy to see you and that you didn't unsubscribe. Uh, okay, so what happened to me? I started having, during my cleaning videos, I started getting sick. And it was a weird sick. Um, at first, I didn't even think anything of it. It was a little bit of fatigue here or there, and then the fatigue got worse, and the fatigue got worse, and the fatigue got worse. And I'm talking like to the point where this isn't like I'm really feeling my age and I'm drinking a lot of coffee to get through the day. No, this was I'm sleeping anywhere from 10 to 16 hours a day just to maybe function for 8 hours more, and then I go back to sleep. I was sleeping so much that it was consuming my life, like literally consuming it. I did not know what was going on, and I would go to my doctor, and I would say, "This is not normal. This is not normal." And I said, "These are the symptoms I'm having." And I would go through stuff like I was having horrible bowel issues. No matter what I ate, I was having horrible bowel issues. And we're not going to get into some of the TMI, but I'm pretty sure you can understand the fatigue and the bloating after you eat and the giant heartburn after you eat. And then, the bowel issues. Nobody really wants to get into those, but there's two ways you can have it. It can be clogged up, or it can be the Arkansas quick step. So, that I was having lots and lots of bowel issues, and I didn't understand them. And not only that, but I was gaining weight, and I was gaining weight. I was pretty heavy before that, and I have to admit that was my own fault. Um, the depression that I had, yes, I'll admit it, I had depression. There was certain things in my life that caused that, and I kind of let it get the better of me, but I had it, and because of it, I had gotten off my diet, and I had gotten into really bad eating habits, um, for self-soothing reasons, to make me feel better in certain ways. I used it because it pretty much at that point, besides my cleaning, was the only thing I really had tangible control over in my life. And so if I was literally grasping onto things that I had control over, because I didn't feel like I had control over much less. I didn't have control over my health, for one, and no doctor could tell me what's wrong. They'd do a whole workup and say, "Oh, you're fine." Like, no, no, I'm not fine. I know better than that. This is not fine. There is something wrong. I don't care what your blood work says. I'm not fine. And then I would get the age old, well, maybe it's your depression causing it. Because, anxiety and stress can cause a lot. And I get that. Yeah, I'm sure it can. But, dude, no, no, I'm sorry. I get it. Depression causes you to sleep more and stuff like that. But this was like way, way beyond anything normal that depression would even cause. And there were just things happening to me that depression wasn't going to fix, and it wasn't going to cause it. And I wasn't stupid. And I was getting really tired of hearing, well, we don't know what's wrong with you, so maybe you're just depressed. Take another pill. I don't want another pill because your stupid pills, not only were they not working, but I was feeling more depressed and even more tired because every stupid pill they were giving me was causing fatigue. And so it was just like literally adding fuel to the fire of my already really bad fatigue. And I realized that some of these meds that they put me on were absolutely awful because I would get on them, and if I missed a day, oh, you would find out because you would get these like little head zaps, is what I would call them, because it was a just like a giant shock wave of disorientation, and all of a sudden you're like your entire balance is completely thrown off, and your head feels like you've got a giant shockwave of vertigo going on, and it's like literally says, "Hey, stupid, you didn't take your pill today." And they were awful. And and you would get that every time you missed a pill. And for me, I got even when I decided I wanted off these pills, that they were not doing me any good, uh, when I did decide to go down in strength on them, I would still get them. And even when I finally got all the way off them, uh, 6 months down the road, I was still getting those shockwaves every now and then. I mean, that's how bad the withdrawals were when you would try to get off 'em. I literally would not ever, ever, uh, like, say to somebody, "Oh, yeah, you should be on those," because they were awful, and it scares me to think, well, if the side effects were that awful just getting off them, what is it I mean, what is it doing that's making my body so addicted to them? I gotta have them, and if I don't have it, I'm, like, literally having these horrible side effects. I didn't like it at all. It was awful. That's just I wouldn't recommend that at all for anybody. Now if you are depressed and like you are taking antidepressants and they're working for you, good. Stay on them by all means. I mean, I am not advocating anybody get off their medicine. For me, it wasn't working and it was kind of exacerbating the problem, and it was expanding my depression, and so getting off them for me was important because it was making it worse, it really was. Uh, it was it was more of a, I need to address the problem that is causing the depression in the first place, instead of just trying to band-aid it with a bunch of meds and sit around half medicated and say, "Well, I kind of feel better now." Because that's just not the kind of person I am. I have to if something's wrong, I'm gonna fix it. If I don't like something with my life, then I'm gonna change it because other than that, I don't know how any other way to function. I mean, if you don't like something, change it, and that's what I needed to do. So that took a while. It really did. And once I finally got to where I could fix the problems that were in my life. I really don't want to get into them because I don't want to like be airing out dirty laundry all over YouTube. That's just not something I'm going to be doing. Once I finally got to the point where I felt like I could breathe again and start over with my mental health, and I could started fixing some of the problems that were causing the depression, I realized that uh not only did I feel better mentally, but the problems that I were complaining about medically were still there. And it was not, well, you're just depressed. And if you start feeling better, all those things will go away. I was basically just irritated. And so I switched doctors because I was just getting tired telling people telling me it's all in my head. And switching doctors was the best thing I ever did because I ended up with one that literally listened to me instead of just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. The other doctor said this, and he's got a degree, so I'm just going to go with him. And I'm so glad he didn't because he listened to me and he did blood work too. And the blood work that he did, it actually came out with stuff, which just absolutely floors me because if one doctor can do blood work and say it's perfectly fine, and then the other one goes, "No, no, there's stuff wrong here." Uh, it makes me think, that I, like what how qualified are some of these doctors at work? But that's not I'm not a professional, so I can't really get into that. It's just my own thinking on that one. But he not only did he find stuff, but he found stuff that were there like for a good 2, 3 years that I had been complaining to my old doctor and that he completely missed. And it literally showed why I was having problems, um, where I was having the problems, and made me feel validated as to I wasn't making this stuff up, and no, it wasn't in my head. And I couldn't have been happier that I saw a different doctor and got a second opinion. If you're having that same problem, find a different doctor and get a second opinion. Because literally nobody should tell you that it's in your head, you're making this stuff up, and make you feel like you're some kind of hypochondriac, and that all this stuff you're just delulu for making it up. Um, if you don't feel right, and your body's telling you there's something wrong, go get a second opinion. Definitely. I completely think that's the right way to do it. My doctor found out that I'm diabetic. I have been for a while. Now I was told I was pre-diabetic, but I was nowhere near diabetes. But my A1Cs were all whacked out, and so was my blood sugar levels. Um, and it was causing a whole bunch of problems. I also had hypothyroidism, which was helping. Not only was that the reason for my extreme fatigue, but it was why I was gaining weight, and I didn't know why. It was also uh, between the diabetes and the hypothyroidism, it was also a reason I was having troubles with my digestive system. And there's another one too, but I have to go in for a test on that on the 24th. And yeah, it's the big colonoscopy one, the one nobody wants to do. But hopefully that one will not show too much because I've got a handful of them that I'm dealing with now. Now between my I got put on metformin, and I got put on Synthroid, and we have not got the Synthroid all the way at the right dosage yet. We're still working on that one. But the metformin seems to be on a good one. And yes, they did put me on Manjaro. So yes, I am on that. For those of you who are interested, Manjaro it is not a fix it all for weight. I can tell you that right now. Manjaro is not what people make it out to be, where it is one of those miracle diet things where all you have to do is take the shot and then like weight starts melting off. It is not that. And I know that tirzepatide is a little bit different than semaglutide. Um, uh, from what I've from what I've known, and I'll have to make a video on it, I do not get these, what do you call it? I do not get like if I eat too much, I get huge stomach pains, and then I want to get nauseous and throw up. I don't get that stuff like you hear from people who's taken Ozempic or Wegovy or Trulicity that they have those problems. I don't. Tirzepatide is just a bit different, and you don't really get those symptoms on it. In fact, you don't even really feel there isn't really much that I actually do. I just take the shot. I might get a little tired right after the shot, but other than that, I don't notice nothing. Other than I'm not as hungry as I used to be, and the you need to I want to eat all the time is pretty much gone. But that is not a fix it all, people. It really isn't. Because if you have bad eating habits, if you are an emotional eater, if you use it to self-soothe, if you have been taught a wrong proportion size, if you are overeating at all, you can just, it doesn't matter if you're not hungry, those habits will get in the way. And all of a sudden you're bored or you're stressed out and you want to eat, and you can eat through these shots, and they're not going to make this one doesn't make me sick. So if I overeat, it's not gonna stop me from doing that or make me nauseous or all of a sudden my stomach hurts and I wanna stop and it doesn't It's not a barrier. You can eat through these shots. You can still gain weight or keep your weight up when taking these shots. You have to put in effort. If you don't put in any effort, even with these shots, you're not going to see any progress because if you're taught badly, you're still going to act badly. And if you do not reprogram yourself, figure out, I'm bored. And all of a sudden now I want to eat. Why do I want to eat? Why am I literally going for food? If I'm bored, then you need to reprogram yourself. I'm eating because I'm bored. I'm bored. I need to go do something. I need to get up and get unbored, basically. You need to figure out if uh, am I depressed? Am I stressed out? Is something going not my way? If that's where you go and you go to food because of it, get out of the house, go for a walk. You have to literally program yourself to say, I'm not going to go for that food. I'm going to go for something else because that's more important. My health and changing my way of looking at food, my way of eating and stuff has to change. And if you can't do that, these shots aren't going to work for you. I know everybody seems to think these are like it's the miracle diet shot, but you can overeat through them. You can gain weight, and if you do not put in, again, I will stress it, if you do not put in the work, you can still ruin yourself on these. And these shots are just way too expensive for you to be screwing up your chance on. If you've got this chance and you are blessed enough that your insurance is literally going to cover it because you're diabetic or whatever reason your insurance is covering it, if you're that blessed, like lucky like I am that my insurance is helping me with this and I'm not paying the exorbitant amount of money that it takes to be on Monjaro, and you screw it up, you've got no one to blame but yourself because you literally are expecting the shot to make you lose weight and you have to do it. So I thought, because I thought when I got on the shot that, because everybody says, like, uh, you see people on, like, YouTube, uh, doing the weight, the eating less and the exercising, and they're on the shot too, and everybody says, "Oh, they're cheating, they're on Mounjaro, that's not fair," and you have to put in work. Other it isn't a cheating thing. It is a we're going to help with the noise and we're going to help with your constant cravings so that you can find a better way of eating. You can stop um the constant hunger noise, the food noise so that you can put all that stuff behind you and you can lose weight. But if you don't change your stuff, like I said, it's not going to work for you, and it's not a cure all. It's not a wonder shot. It really isn't. You have to put the work in. And I've seen a lot of people, and especially in my family, that have had diabetes and has eaten right through it and wasn't losing weight and was complaining. And I was completely like, uh, what do you call it? Confused. Sorry, brain fog. I was confused when they would complain about it, and they're still like gaining weight. I'm like, I thought this stuff was supposed to help you lose weight. It all it does is calm the noise and a little bit of the hunger, so that you can turn your life around. But if you don't do it, it can't do it for you. It really can't. So I really don't see it as a cheat thing anymore. I see it as a huge tool in my weight loss journey, to help me lose the weight that I need to lose. Because not only does uh it help with that, but it my A1Cs are finally, balancing back out when they were just like all whacked out in the first place. And that's what that shot's really supposed to do, is to help those that are diabetic get their A1Cs back on track so that they can manage their diabetes. So it does more for me than it does for somebody who just wants to be on like a weight loss thing. And I'm pretty sure Zepbound is tirzepatide, and it is the one that is uh prescribed for weight loss. So if you're diabetic like I am, you would get on the Mounjaro. But if you're needing to lose weight to prevent like health issues that could come up, if you want to be preventative, the Zepbound would be one for you to do it. But again, you're going to have to put in the work. It's not a miracle, and it's not a cure all. Uh, once I got my diabetes, I always I kind of have like ADD, so I will probably veer off course, but I gotta get back on course when I do get off course. You'll have to let me know if I do that too much, and I will really try to get back on course and stay on there for you for the videos. But I've been on the Manjaro for like 2 months, and the first week I didn't notice nothing, but that's because I really thought it was gonna be like this magic little shot and like weight was gonna drop off, and I was that I wasn't gonna be able to eat food because it was gonna make my stomach sick and blah blah blah. And I just went about my daily normal life, and uh lo and behold, I didn't lose nothing, and I was irritated to begin with. I was really irritated because I wasn't losing any weight. And then when it finally dawned on me that I was going to have to put in the effort and that I couldn't be lazy about this, I decided right then and there that I wanted. I wanted a healthier life. I wanted to get rid of these problems. I was sick and tired of them. My biggest goal this summer is to go to Silverwood with my daughter. I want to take my 12-year-old there. She has a free ticket. I want to go. And I don't want to be sitting on the sideline watching because I can't walk around and I'm too big to go up the hills or to enjoy any of this. I mean, it hurts that I have let myself go that bad to where it, literally walking around, I'm huffing and puffing and breathing so hard that people are like, "Are you all right? Do you want to take a rest?" And all I did was like I've been up for like 5 minutes. It's it's absolutely just unacceptable what I've done. I literally hate what I've done to myself. And all of this weight gain that I did uh isn't all my fault because I do have a huge thyroid problem, but a lot of it is, and I'm not going to try to make excuses for that. I did this to myself. I had bad eating. I went to food when I was upset. I went there when I was depressed. I slept way too much, and then all I was doing was up to eat or to go back to bed because I was depressed and I was sleeping too much. Uh that and every pill I took was making the fatigue worse, the sleeping worse, and I had the diabetes and the hypothyroidism, which was causing mass fatigue on its own. So I had like triple strikes on me here that was causing all of this stupid fatigue. So all I was doing was getting up to eat and go back to bed. So I did this to myself. I don't have anyone else to blame or anything, nor should I. I just need to stand up, take accountability. You did this. This is your problem, and you're going to fix it. And that's the way I look at it. And if I want to do these things with my little girl, if I want to get out and enjoy life and be an active mom, I need to fix this because mm, my little girl is are my well, she's my baby. She's baby number 4. And uh all the other 3 are adults now. And I wasn't that big with them, and I was able to get around and do things with them and enjoy, vacations. But with Emma, I was when she was little. I was able to get out and I was mobile and this, but the last few years I haven't been, and I'm not only hurting me, but I hurt the time that I have with my little girl, and I hurt the time that I could be out with my older kids, and I hurt the time that I have with my husband because half the time he goes out and visits family and stuff, and I'm not going. For one, I'm too big, and my I have tons of back pain, which is a whole nother thing in its own. But uh, it's like life is passing me by. And if I can't stand it no more. I have to get up. I have to take accountability for it and I have to do something. And I have been on the Monjaro shot for about 2 months now. And it did take away the the food noise. The first week, nothing, obviously, because I would eat through the shot, which I found out why that's why you can do that. Uh, the second week, I really got into it, but I literally would try to go outside and walk, and when I went outside and walked, I would get something called edema or it was swelling. And I would get the swelling in my calves, and I would get swelling in my ankles and my feet, and I would just swell, and I mean swell up horribly. So I had a whole lot of water weight I was carrying around, and I mean a lot of water weight. This and it's kind of scared me because I thought maybe I had like blood clots or something because it was just my legs that were swelling up. And so I wouldn't even get like halfway around the block before I was swelling so bad and my back was hurting so bad. That's another problem of mine. I was diagnosed with spinal stenosis. So I have narrowing of this spinal cord and it just gets and you get bone spurs. And the where your nerves go right through your spine narrows, um, and you can get bone spurs, and it will start pinching and pushing on your nerves in your spine, which would cause me to have nerve pain shoot down my legs, and oh my gosh, that hurts. And it would shoot right down the back of your leg and right down into from your lumbar region down through your butt and right down into the back of your legs. And man, did that hurt. I mean, that was the most painful. So not only was I getting the nerve pain shooting down me by walking, but I was also swelling up, and that was another part of the spinal stenosis that you don't realize is happening. So when I did research on it, I realized that the swelling is from uh, inflation, or is it called inflation? I don't think it's called inflation. It's an infection or something like that. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Hold on, we're gonna go figure that out. Okay, I figured it out. So, the word I'm looking for is inflammation. I don't. My brain fog is real, and it is just bothering me a lot lately. I will, if if I'm looking for a word and I'm sitting here going, well, it's brain fog. Just be nice to me. Be nice, please. Anyway, uh, I would get inflammation and swelling can be interchangeable, and it's usually due to like in tissue infection or uh, cellular problems. If your cells are damaged, if they're if they've got some infection going on, or there's something wrong with certain cells, it will cause inflammation in the body. And when I read that, I thought, okay, well, how do you how do you get rid of inflammation? And the way to do that is to fix the tissue and the cellular damage that is in your body. And so I'm like, all right, well, how do you? Because I'm a fix it person. I'm like, okay, well, let's get to the root cause, fix it first, and then we'll just keep going. Well, how do you fix cellular damage? I mean, I'm not an expert on things, but I do know that that looks awful. I'm not going to do that. Uh, I do know that I'm not an expert on cellular cells or cells in the body, so fixing them is not a forte of mine. But I did come across one very interesting thing called autophagy. And I know that's big word and a lot of people get turned off when they hear that, but autophagy happens when you don't eat for a certain period of time. So you can go into autophagy with intermittent fasting, and it usually happens anywhere from like 15 hours to 24. Um, and the and I thought, well, so I just starve and that happens. But autophagy is Greek, and it means to eat thyself, which is weird. But after so many hours of not eating, your body starts recycling damaged cells and to for for reasons for energy and to get rid of basically if you think of it as a computer, oh, a whole bunch of open tabs that don't need to be there, it starts cleaning itself, and it starts cleaning house, and we all love cleaning, don't we? So it's spring cleans, and it if you don't have a bunch of damaged cells, then the inflammation goes away. And I thought, oh well, that should work. Let's try that. And so my big idea was to go for the first 2 weeks on something called the OMAD diet, and OMAD is only meal a day. So one meal a day. Yeah, not only, sorry. One meal a day. And the way that works is, let's say you ate dinner because you sleep better on a full stomach or whatnot. You eat that meal, and then you don't eat again until dinner rolls around the next time. So there's at least you eat 1 hour a day, and 23 you do not. And wow, you guys, like literal wow. The first week, and the first week on OMAD, uh, I noticed huge, huge strides in my swelling. I literally could walk the half a block, and I wasn't swelling anymore. And I couldn't walk all the way around the block because my back, obviously, with the stenosis, was hurting and hurting and hurting. And it was to the point where I had to stop and I had to rest, or I had to lean over onto something and rest my back. But the swelling was gone, and I could walk around completely around the block after all the resting and all of the sitting that I did. And I would get hope, and there's no more swelling. And I thought, I did it. I literally, the swelling is gone. It's not a clot. It literally took all of the water weight and all of the the swelling that I was having, and it was gone. And I thought, okay, well, I can't prove that what I just did uh fixed it, but it's gone. So I'm going to take it as a win and run with it. Now, I didn't plan on staying on an OMAD diet because obviously that is a really hard one to do. And if you know yourself at all and you know you're not going to be able to stick with that as a long term, like everyday lifestyle thing, then that I then don't even think you're going to do it for long term. But if you're going to do it for a short term to get the autophagy into place and everything get recycled out of your body, it's a great idea. Um, I do not. I got off of the OMAD, and after I got off the OMAD and I wasn't swelling anymore, I went to a very low carb diet. That was my plan, and this one I had to look into, but I went to it, and in with the what do you call it? With the realization that this was not going to be a diet. This was going to be a complete and utter life um changing. This was going to be what I was going to do for the rest of my life, because this was going to be my new diet regimen. I wasn't going to use it wasn't going to be used as a diet. It was going to be as a regular eating plan, because I never stick to diets, and diets mean you have to restrict yourself. And if you're in a restriction, sooner or later you're gonna want to get off it. And then when you get off it, that's when the problems happen. But if you stick with a regular diet plan that is going to help you in the long run, uh, that was what I was aiming for. A lifestyle change. And this one is the one that I chose personally for me, and it has been working. And so far, uh the 2 weeks that the 2 weeks that okay, wait, the first week was a complete and utter dud. And then the next 2 weeks was OMAD, and I lost a total of, I think, 5 pounds. I'm gonna have to go back into my notes and look at it, but I think I lost 5 pounds on that. And then because the fourth week I lost another 5 pounds in one whole week, and I was like, woo, ooh, ooh, ooh. So in that total month, I had lost 10 pounds, and I was absolutely just ecstatic with that. Um, I couldn't see the difference, because obviously I was 260 and now I'm at 250, and there's not really much of a difference, but I could feel it. I mean, I could definitely feel a difference, but I could not see it when I was taking pictures, and I'll have to show you the pictures. I couldn't see it when I was at the gym and when I was putting in the work, because well, it's just, you weigh so much that, yeah, you look at side pictures, and there's just not much progress that you can see in the pictures, and that didn't bother me. uh because I could tell it was going down on the scale, and I was feeling a difference in my body. So I was fine, honestly. And I knew that I would be able to see physical difference later on. I just needed to keep going. Uh, the fifth week, was pretty good. I lost another 2 more pounds, and I had made the conscious decision to I had gotten a Fitbit, and I love my little Fitbit. My Fitbit's just, if you sync it up to your phone, it just has so much stuff. Like literally so much stuff that it does. I mean, it monitors your your heart rate, it monitors your oxygen level, your sleep score. This thing just does everything. I love this thing. I don't know how I even got along without it before. It counts all my steps, and that was one goal I had, was 10,000 steps every day that I work out. I have 2 rest days, and that's Tuesday and Saturday. The rest of them, I wanted to get my 10,000 steps in. No, I have not done that religiously. I have, when I started, I was at 4 to 6,000. Um, on my once I started being able to walk around the block, I could get 4 to 6 in at the gym on the treadmill, but I could not get any more in. It was just too much for me. And I thought, okay, well, that's fine. As long as I keep building, we'll just make 10,000 the goal. And, uh, week 5 and 6, I think uh I was literally ranging around 6 to 8. So I was going up, and as long as I'm making progress, I'm not going to be like, "No, you didn't make it. Bad, bad." So, uh it's progress is progress, and I'm not going to beat myself up over it. So, I was making 6 to 8, and I was completely happy with that. But I did learn that treadmill is easier than walking around the neighborhood. Why? Because the neighborhood is literally on a hill, and there's inclines, and then there's going down hills and up hills, and I didn't have any incline on the treadmill, so it was just flat, and it was so much easier. And it never really hit me for like the first 2 weeks as to why it was so much harder to walk around the neighborhood. I don't know why. I'm gonna chalk it up to brain fog. But once I figured that out, I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense, I think. uh, but I was noticing that I could finally uh, walk on the treadmill week 5 and 6. Um, and end my walk, end the walk on the little preset thing, and not be in pain. And I'm like, this is working. And I also noticed that my heart rate went down, because when I first started the treadmill, my heart rate was like 163. I mean, it just shot right up there. 50s and 60s, that's what it was hanging at. 153 to 163. And by the week 5 and 6, and this was, so we are doing 3 weeks for this. I was at the gym for 3 weeks, because first week I just screwed off. Um, let's see. That was 3 weeks, and then 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at 5 weeks at literally like persistent going to the gym, and I noticed that my heart rate's at 142 instead of way the heck up there. So my heart rate's not only improving and going down while I'm in the middle of the exercise, but um my back isn't hurting. And I almost started crying. I was like, I just finished the entire hour walk on the treadmill, and my back is not hurting. I am building muscle enough in my back that the that it is not hurting to stand up anymore and to do this job. And I absolutely just started crying at Planet Fitness, because it felt so good not to be in pain. I don't even know how to tell you the absolute joy that it felt to stop, to end that cool down, and to get off that thing. And yeah, I was stiff, and yeah, my muscles were sore, but my back was not in pain, and I was not having to balance on the side of the treadmill because my back was in so much pain. And I to realize that you're making a huge difference just by not being in pain, because normally I couldn't walk around the block without being in pain. To know that now I can walk around the whole stupid block, not be in pain, and want to go again, that was that was just that was that was a big eye opener for me. And it was hugely motivating for me. Um so I think I yeah, it was one of the best motivating things, because now I could go to the grocery store, and I could walk through the grocery store and pick out my own food. And I'm not literally hanging on to the the cart trying to use it as a walker because my back isn't killing me. And I'm able to walk around and do stuff again like I normally did. And it felt so good, guys. It really did. It felt so good. I was just absolutely beside myself. Uh, you, and people probably thought I was weird, but I'm like, I did it. I walked through Walmart. They probably were like, yeah, all right, go get yourself some help. But you forgot to take your meds, lady. But I walked through Walmart and it without pain. I walked around the block without pain. I finished my treadmill workout at Planet Fitness without pain. And it was, I'm going to cry again. It's the best feeling in the world to know that for once you're finally doing something good for yourself instead of self-sabotaging. And it is the biggest motivator I have right now. I don't want to quit, and I won't. And I am at, I think, week 8. Yep, week 8. And I took my last Manjaro shot today at 2.5. And I'm pretty sure when my doctor calls in the new prescription, I think he's going to move me up to a 5. I'm not, I can't be 100% sure on that because, things always happen. So never ever have something set in stone. But if things go the way I think it is, where I'm going to be going up, which means uh, uh, I can definitely tell whether um the no symptoms stays or if I do get some symptoms. I don't know from the shot, but it will be nice to it'll be interesting to find out, and I'll have to let you know on this one. And from now on, now that I've told this story, um we're going to go and do uh better at it. I will just go week by week and I will show what I'm doing that week, the walks I'm doing, the gym stuff I'm doing, what I'm eating, and uh what's going on, and we will do the progress pictures, stuff like that. It's kind of hard to film in Planet Fitness. They're real picky there. They're picky people. They don't like filming. Well, they don't like a lot of stuff. But um once I get uh a little bit more of this weight loss done and I can actually go and do some real like weightlifting. I was told with stenosis not to do deadlifts, not to do the squats and stuff because it's putting way more pressure than I need on my spine. So there are certain things I can't do. But once I get into some of them, I probably might switch to a more video friendly only because they're real picky about the whole don't film in there. So I have to wait till it's like pretty much dead, which doesn't happen very often, before I get a film in. But I can get pictures, and I have been doing those. And I have been documenting week for week what my pictures are, and you obviously have seen them on here. So, I will definitely do those. I will keep up with this. And we will uh we will get this weight down and we will fix this because I refuse to let this stuff ruin my life. I refuse to let it rule my life. I am going to take back control of my health. and I'm going I'm going to take everybody along with me, and if you want to stay and you want to like and subscribe and see week by week what happens, how long it takes, do I reach my goal, things like that, uh, please stick around and support your girl because it's free to like. And I would love to have you along. I want to hear your comments. I would love to hear if you're going through similar situations. I would love to hear from you, and I read them all. I'm a small enough channel that I can, and I'm blessed enough to read those comments. If I had like a million subscribers and a whole bunch of people, I probably wouldn't be able to read them all, but I do, and I will respond to you. So, um, wish me luck. Uh, and I hope to see you on this journey on the next one. Thanks. Bye.